Hey guys, welcome to book review 147. Today I am going to be reviewing the Hobbit motion picture trilogy location guide, Hobbiton, The Lonely Mountain, and Beyond. So essentially what this is it's a compilation piece to the Hobbit trilogy, which preceded the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And as you can see, it's a picture book. And it goes around New Zealand, the primary, really the only, filming location, both for interiors and exteriors, for the filming of the Hobbit trilogy. So you can see there's quite a bit like this. Some of it is just pictures. So I drew Peter Jackson right there. But a lot of it is like areas in specific towns. Let's get to it. Now they first talked to some of the people that were involved, like the set designer and location scouts, production designer, things like that, about what their experience is and what the expectation for finding shots for the film is. Obviously, both The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are very sweeping visual narratives, so that was really important. And they really cover it. The book is covered in two areas, much like the nation of New Zealand is, and that's the North Island and the South Island. It's a little production thing right there. So we go around to a number of spots. Hobbiton, that was built in somewhere. North Island. Just kind of going through those. A lot of this early stuff that I'm going through is production design. And then you start getting to like the outdoorsy stuff, like I believe that's the Waikato River, and that's where there was the dwarves and one lonely hobbit got washed down shore. Te Apu, one of the most famous areas of New Zealand, that's a lake that was formed by seismic volcanic action. Mountains, obviously a big part of this book is going to be the mountains. Then you get stuff like this that's like, they talk about a particular area and then they show like stills from the film. That's from Dinsian Bluffs. And then you have the actual shots of the film from Dinsian Bluffs. Kind of they talk a little bit in the middle of the book about Wellington and some of the areas around there. In addition to just talking about the physical film locations, it's also a book that's sort of like a toury guide book, where it says, cafes you can go to that are close to the filming sites or whatever. South Island. Glorious Bridge, Havelock. That's a real good picture there. Kind of a very aquamarine, very clean, clear river that you get pretty much all over New Zealand. I know of any rivers in New Zealand called the Big Muddy. Nelson, that's the Nelson shoreline there. And they go up the coast. Resurgence, Cannon Downs. Ooh, this is a good picture. Let's see where that's from. Cuyahoga Lakes. The north and the south are both mountainous, but I'd say the north has a little bit more in terms of kind of strange scenery, whereas the south it's much more, there's more diversity of scenery in the north, whereas in the south it tends to be one of three things, kind of either open plains, that's the far east, mountainous areas, or the temperate rainforest of the west coast. Salisbury River, Wanaka. Oh, there's a cool one. I think that was in somewhere when they were running around in the Hobbit. Last thing I want to do is kind of show Queensland. In Fiordland National Park. See all these. I'm giving practically the whole book away here. Let's go forward. Plenary Paradise. If you got a place named Paradise, you know it's pretty nice. The organ pipes. I think that those might be in Fiordland National Park. Ooh, I want to go to this place. You know, I've been to New Zealand, but I never went to here. See, that looks like a little just canyon, but look, there's a glacier above here, and all the melt off, because it gets too warm once it goes to the bottom. It goes over this lip here, and it creates all these mini little ice falls that come from different sources of the snow coming off the glacier. Pretty awesome. Passburn. More awesome mountains. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at there. I didn't really want to leave this book review too long. Milford Sound. Oh, there's a good picture of Milford Sound. Just because this book really, there's no real narrative to it outside the narrative of The Lord of the Rings, but it just kind of covers some of the filming locations, and it doesn't really even go by it goes by like specific scenes within the movie, but it doesn't go by the beginning to end narrative of the movie. It kind of just moves around New Zealand by geography. Dundon. This is a good shot. This is off Dundon. I think I'll leave this as the last one. So, alright. Sea, sand, mountains, glaciers, forests, rainforests, lakes, aquamarine lakes. Pretty awesome. Alright, you guys. See you later. Bye.